Hello, everybody. Welcome to CappingTV. We are bringing you here tonight with Is This Highlander versus Pogjuice in ozfortress Season 29, Intermediate Week 7. I am here joined by Just Jazz and soon to be Shaky, and we have some very interesting TF2 going on tonight. How are you, Jazz?
I am doing quite well, Lucky, my friend. It is good to be on a cast with you, even if at some point I'm going to be typing behind the scenes. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Very excited. Watching Is This Highlander versus Pogjuice Aficionados. One, one of these teams is one of the best teams in the division, and the other team is one of the most interesting teams in this division. And certainly, in all the games that I've been casting, or at least producing of Is This Highlander, it has again, it's always been interesting. This is a team that's running permanent off classes. At the very least, they've got a perma pyro. Their scouts swap between heavy and NG. Andy Roop is a jack of all trades. So I think at least I hope we are in for an interesting game. So how about we run down some rosters if you're keen on that?
Yeah, well, we all know who is on Is This Highlander, so we'll actually start with Pogjuice for a new roster here that we don't know if we've casted this before, but definitely not as much as Is This Highlander. So on the first scouts, we have TG and Montgomery Wigglesworth. On the soldiers, we have Cake and Lizard Wizard. Demo Man is Frydog, and the medic is Ravu 4. If you want to run through This Is Highlander, oh, Is This Highlander, I should say.
Yeah, definitely. So on this Highlander, we have Exquisite and Lugnuts as the double scout duo, but also Heavy and Engineer. Andy Rue as the lone soldier, but he'll often play spy. He'll play scout if they need a scout. He'll do whatever is required. He's a very, very sharp player, very talented. Bird is not a soldier, actually. She is a permanent pyro, which adds a very interesting dynamic and makes sacking into the medic a little bit more difficult because you can just get air blasted away. Time on the Demoman class, and then as the medic, Rocky Road 1415.
Yep, and I think Is This Highlander, in my opinion, this is kind of like a statement as a roster, like, hey, this standard sixes meta, we don't need it to do well. They're currently fifth, which is one outside the playoffs. They're actually really close to getting playoffs, and this is actually quite an important match for them.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm quite tight with Mr. Lugnuts, and one of the things that he has been saying constantly throughout the entire season is uh, one of the things that they have found is they're very good at taking advantages of teams who know how to play sixes but don't know why sixes is played the way it is, right? Uh, a lot of teams are they typically think, oh, well, it's scout scout soldier soldier demo medic, and that's it. It is that way because that's how it is. What they don't realize is that sixes is set up in a way that maximizes those movement mechanics. It's very reminiscent of Quake in that sense, right? You're utilizing movement, be it the soldier or the demo man, to jump across the map. Certainly, the scout with his great speed is able to cover distances very quickly, and then obviously you need the healer, the medic. But for the teams who don't quite grasp that, or sometimes they just out the end the other teams, they really get taken advantage of, and as a result, even though it is an unorthodox setup throughout the entire season, I mean they beat Salt Free last week. Beat is a bit of an understatement. It was quite painful if you're a Salt Free fan, and they've really sort of, I don't know if punched above their weight is the way to put it, but they certainly surprised a lot of people at just how effective the off class setup was. But that's not to take anything away from the way they've played. They've figured out their strats with their limit opportunity that they've had to scrim, because it's really tough finding a scrim when you're running full off classes most of the time. Surprisingly, who would have thought that? In spite of all the issues and challenges that they've been facing, they've really managed to pull it through. But Pogjuice as well. Pogjuice is a super, super good team. They, in my opinion, are one of the top teams in the division this season. This is certainly uh, indicated by where they're standing in the table, which is second place at the moment. They've won 11, they've lost one map, right? So they are in prime position going into the postseason playoff race. But is this Highlander? They do need to pick at least one map to be in hopes of getting that last playoff spot. Obviously, the dub is the goal, but I think they'll be very, very happy if they can get one map because at least then they have a fighting shot.
Yeah, getting to playoffs is such a off-brand lineup is would be such a statement for at least this level of competitive TF2 that other things than just a standard six can work, and I think that's something to note is that why learn how to play against other classes and sixes when all you're going to be playing against is scout, scout, demo, soldier, soldier, medic, so it is going to be interesting to see if this other team, they are experienced on the side of Pogjuice, so. But are they experienced against what they're going to be coming up against? Who knows? They have been scrimming against these guys quite a bit, from what I know. So that will actually prepare them, I think, more better than normal compared to what most teams have come up against.
Yeah, well, it looks like we are going to be kicking off the night on Reckoner, CP Reckoner. This is a map that we've seen in ozfortress a couple of times. Took a break from it last season, and then they reintroduced it this season, taking away the fan favorite Logjam. I know everybody's a big fan of Logjam. But I'm going to bring in our esteemed other guest for the evening, Mr. Shaky. Uh, Fashionably late, but that's okay because we love having you on the cast. Shaky, how are you, my friend?
Hello, I am sorry I was late, but yeah, I'm here now. How are you, Jazz?
Yeah, doing quite well, man. We're just chilling in the pregame. The STV is in our Mumble chat, so if you can hop in there, when your earliest convenience, it would be certainly well appreciated. Like I was saying, we are on Reckoner tonight. Reckoner, the big. Honestly, of all the custom maps that we've played in ozfortress, it's a map I'm really quite fond of. I think it plays very well. It certainly looks really nice as well, and yeah, it's just very nice. And then after Reckoner, we are going to go to the Pug favorite Process. Everybody's played Process 2 billion times, so I think we're in for quite a fun night of games.
Reckoner got
And
updated, right? Sorry to cut you off.
yeah, I'll see six now. So,
What are
um,
the changes? It's like mid and toxic, or is there more?
I actually couldn't tell you to be honest.
I
Um,
think that Toxic has been enlarged just a little bit, and then
oh yeah, there's a forward spawn in Toxic. Now that
yeah,
I'm looking around the map, there's actually a
Yeah,
forward
that's
spawn.
right. I was about to say.
yeah, the forward
So
is in Toxic, and that's about all I know. I mean, well, Toxic's been enlarged a little bit as well, so
yeah,
something
due to that
something.
forward spawn being there, that other forward spawn that they had, if you did not know before, they had it above that little ammo pack in mid, up high, which meant it was really damn good, and probably too damn good for snipers to get a nice pick on the medic there. I think that was RC5, so I think that was the main reason that they changed it, but it's still a pretty strong forward spawn, really close to the mid, and it's actually quite a good position to be into, so we'll have to see how that plays out. I don't know how much these teams will be scrimming this map. I don't know. It doesn't come up any other time to my knowledge in the season, and I don't think teams, scrim it in off season very much. So it's gonna be very interesting to see how these teams play with these changes, even though they aren't that major. And just how they play in general on this map, because this map hasn't played a huge amount.
Definitely. I am going to mute myself back in now that our good friend Shaky is in the cast. So everybody who is watching, enjoy, and gentlemen, take it away.
I
Well, we
always
do.
like, sorry, I always thought that the most interesting part of the map was the mid, like how it's like sheltered. It means that you can't like have a scout just like capping there like on the side while you fight. You have to like fully invest a player if you want any cap time.
Yeah, that's one thing I actually, I'll say I don't like about this map is the point being under that bridge. It's Yeah, a big open mid, and you have to commit so much to, as you say, going to that point, and it's pretty much a spot where you don't want to be, even though it's where the cap is. So, it's a very interesting thing. Yukon had something similar. Not that I played that map back in the day, Some much more veteran players would have played that map, and one of the big gripes that I know of is that the point was also like this one, under the bridge. They did have a version of this map that I think was above the bridge, so I'm not exactly sure why they changed that. But
I do remember that version. I was just about to say, yeah, it just means that like if you want to win, like you can only cap if you've like definitively won the mid. Whereas on something like Process, like the mids can go on for like a good minute or two, to the point where like you can get your like people who died at the start to come back in and fight. But I think it's a bit harder to do that on this map, like just because it like the mobility of getting from spawn back to mid isn't great.
not only that, when you're on that bottom point, you literally have like zero vision of what's coming in. You know, you can hear rocket jumps and whatnot, but you don't hear scouts running up to you or anything like that. So it's kind of just like a really tough position to be in, which is why this mid I'm not a huge fan of, and it is a bit awkward to play sometimes. Very open, but you know, it's actually quite easy to deny soldiers as well on this map. So
Yeah, there's not enough walls in my opinion. Like there's like the two like walls on the right hand side of each of the teams, like team sides, but it's not really like that high in the sky, like compared to something like Process or Snake.
yeah, there is only a few places where you can do like a good high bomb. I think that's on the lower ramp. You can poke off that wall, and a few, like very few places, but that's about it. So we do have all 12 in server right now. We're just waiting for these two teams to ready up and get this game underway.
Yeah, I do remember fondly. I think the last time this was played was season 26, I think. So we're at 30 now or 29? We're at like 30, aren't we?
29, yeah.
20, oh yeah, 29. So three seasons ago, I think this was played. I played a semis match on this. It was not fun. Like, yeah, as you said, the scouts, like, as a scout, you can just sit on the crate, and it's like, I don't know what you can like really do as a soldier. You just have to wait for like another distraction before you can go in. Like the crate positioning, or like just the high ground positioning in general, is just too powerful if you're the scout class.
Yeah, that's one thing I hated playing Soldier in this map about was, you know, that you really have to read how the mid's going. If you read it wrong, you just get absolutely decimated. So maybe that's where the experience of, you know, the other team being Pogjuice, having Cake, he's been playing for ages, and Lizard Wizard not been playing for too long, but he is a very good jumper. Actually has really good DM as well. So, you know, will that come into play for them? And then, you know, Bird, you know, not being on that soldier. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to really affect him on this mid. You would think so, but, you know, I really haven't seen Isis Highlander play that much, so I'd have to, you know, check out this first mid, see how it goes.
I've casted a few games of this team. The major problem with the Pyro is it's just distance. Like, I think people, once they understand that you just need a scout to shoot the Pyro, like when the scout's standing like just like a few meters away, like completely counters it. When that discovery's made, yeah, the is this Highlander team kind of crumbles because they don't really have an answer to it. The problem with the Pyro is that it's in something like sixes where like your classes are so fast, it's really easy to just move away from the Pyro. Whereas like in things like Highlander where like the classes aren't so mobile, or like it's just a bit harder to traverse the map like with ease. Like I think that's where the Pyro really shines.
Yeah, that is an actual good point. I think on the last, whilst it is pretty open, I think he actually can do a lot of work, if not spotted, just like on any last really. So, but they'll always know, hey, that pyro's up, so they just need to scout it out. So yeah, there is definitely some problems with having this pyro. You know, it's the main reason why this meta has stayed so strong. The double scout, double soldier, demo medic has stayed so strong for so long, is because as Jazz touched on at the start of this cast, is that, you know, the mobility is just insane on all these classes that are usually played. So, you know, I don't know if that's gonna. I think that will come into play against the Pyro. You know, you obviously can't come in, you know, too close to the Pyro, else you just can't get decimated, because that's really where he kind of shines, and that's what he's designed for. But yeah, I don't know if, you know, teams will get impatient. You know, Pogjuice get impatient. You know, chipping away at a Pyro can just be very, very annoying. Very, very slow.
I was about to say. I think the occasional soldier just like gets a bit impatient, decides, oh, I'll shoot a rocket. Like the Pyro won't reflect it, surely, right? And then you know, get the drops their own med from the reflect. I have seen it. It happened against the Cobra team. I forgot what it was called. It was like the Cobra and Smazza team. Yeah, they kind of let Bird slip in a few times. They just dropped their guard against the Pyro, and in those moments, like in close quarters moments where you drop your guard against the Pyro, that's really, yeah, as you said, where the Pyro does the work. Just as a recurring piece of analysis, like the problem isn't so much what the Pyro offers. It's like the problem of what they lack due to not having that second soldier. I know on like Snakewater, it like really punished them because Snakewater's such like it's such a vertical map. Like soldiers can like stand perched up on so many spots on the map, and like they just there's this Highlander team weren't really able to contest that, only having one soldier.
Yeah, that's the thing, that one soldier, if the other team scouts keep a good eye on that one soldier, he is not going to be able to do anything. Like, double bombs aren't possible. All the stuff that you can really do that is really prominent in this current like phase of TF2, like double bombing is a massive thing that is seen a lot of the time. You just can't do it now. And that is a huge pressure on, Andy, who is on this soldier to, do some good work. He is a good soldier, but, if these scouts, they just keep an eye on him, he literally won't be able to do anything. As we see, Andy, just speaking of it, is readying up.
Yeah, so I've got ready up on the side of this Highlander, which is waiting for the other team to do so. So this like blue roster, these players have played before together, I think. I think I've seen a team with TG and Montgomery. So yeah, be interested to see how the team chemistry plays into this as we see already up from both teams.
Yep, we are going into the first mid here. This is TF2 on CappingTV. Is this Highlander versus Pogjuice, ozfortress Season 29 Intermediate Week 7. As we will be rolling out as a red demo getting a good rollout so far. Same with the blue demo, going pretty at a similar speed here, and they are on opposite sides as now the soldiers, well, they want to do this work, and interesting to see. Yep, that Pyro, she's walking across the point and trying to deny these soldiers as Andy Roo finds the first pick onto Lizard.
So your Lizard aggressively bombs in and just gets punished by like the entirety of Red. Scout behind on the side of Red, doesn't get much for their efforts. As we see, yeah, a lot of frags dropping on blue as but just at the end there, Cake picks up Rocky Road to make sure the meds are traded out.
Wow, and he actually gets out there too. That's actually a really good play there from Cake, able to salvage that mid. As they actually didn't have much ground on that mid, and they just kind of collapsed on there. Maybe a bit of uncertainty of what to do, as it looks like Red want to enter the second point.
Oh, Cake nearly hits a big air shot onto time, but just barely misses, will back out. I think it was a case of Lizard, Lizard made the first move. He just bombed in and kind of got punished for it, and the mid went south from there. After that feed, Bird gets a reflect kill.
So we do see the classic Rocky Road on crits, but Ravu also on the crits, so that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Rocky seems like he is going to get that crits first. They just have to play us his advantage. I don't think they'll be ready for Ravu being on crits though either. So this is actually going to be very interesting. Possible crits trade, but Red is actually way closer than expected, and they do pop the crits. Nothing yet, and actually it's crushed upon.
Bridal just comes in from the side and oh no. So I presume, yeah, they were looking at Toxic, and I think yeah, Blue just entered in from cargo and managed to get the flank play onto them. That's a full wipe on the side of Is This Highlander.
Yeah, and that is, the disadvantage of crits. You obviously aren't invulnerable, you still have that 150 HP on the medic, so having someone just sitting there waiting to kill that medic and stop the crits, in this case was actually Demo. Able to do a huge amount of damage and deny that crits, and even better, Ravu didn't even use that crit, so he had a full crits advantage coming to his loss.
I was about to say, I don't know how effective a crits would be against Is This Highlander, because they always have the Pyro that's completely denied the crits presence. As we see, the crits is popped out, and yeah, Frydog gets absolutely nothing with it. I mean, Bird just presses mouse 2 and then the whole crits is over.
Yeah, and that will be tilting. That's a whole, 100% crits are just gone because of the Pyro, so that is something that they're definitely going to have to take into account. They have to really use it where Pyro isn't, to really get good effectiveness out of it. Even then, it's quite easy to kite at crits if you can see where it's coming from, so that is a bit rough there for them. And now Rocky Road has a pretty sizable ad. Ravu did get out, and he will still have crits, so that is actually quite bad because it looks like Rocky is going to get Uber first, and that is a complete counter to crits here.
I think what they're going to be looking for on the side, like I think what Rocky's looking for is he's going to look for the using the crits to force the Uber and then build the crits with that like faster speed so that they get a crits out in the post the post crits fight.
It looks like this is Highlander actually entering through the bottom grass here.
Oh,
And
but
Rocky Road
Frydog!
dead. Rocky's done it again. He's found the medic, and that is a drop. And Rocky, how's Frydog finding these frags? He's playing Roma on the demo class, as now all the cleanup is happening. Andy will go down, time going down as well, and that is a full wipe, leaving 3 players on the side of Pogjuice up.
I think like Bird just blinked and then and then the next thing was the sound of the crit sticky. I mean, oh, it is a tilting thing just being on medic and then you blink and you hear the like the sizzling sticky and it's to the respawn queue as that's what's happened to Rocky Road here. So the Uber the crit set I should say is it's not that bad, right? It's about a 10%. Like it's actually evening out really rapidly here. It's about like a 10% ad for Ravu. I don't think it's usable at this point.
Yeah, definitely not. He's back on that Uber charge. His crit's obviously not going to work, and Rocky Road also on that Uber charge, so pretty much going to be even Ubers here. Nothing too wacky, as we will see. Pretty standard last on the side of Is This Highlander. Of course, having that Permapyro, also having Engineer, so any sacks getting it will be actually really difficult. So it looks like an off-class like a Sniper may have to be, you know, the way in.
I was about to say, I have seen, like, I think, like either one of the Blue Soldiers go Sniper before, so I'd be interested to see if they, like, sack in and then switch off to Sniper or, like, leave the door open for, like, a scout to come back.
And Lizard actually going to be finding log nuts, which means that gun is pretty much free reign, unless Bird has something to say about it, trying to deflect everything. And there's a trade frag, the heavy, going to be finding Monty, but Cake is going to find the trade onto Exquisite. And I don't know if they're actually going to try and move with this. Yes, they are.
Yeah,
They're moving into the right side.
Yeah, they're going on the side that the Pyro isn't, to try and avoid that reflect, like, the reflect, like, just denying the whole Uber.
But the thing is that they use on the right side and they don't make any advancements. They actually just kind of stay on that side, and they're not going to be able to find anything. In fact, they only lose players in that Uber. This is a full Uber advantage for Rocky Road, and they want to keep this momentum up as they go into second here. Raven reads the situation well, and he is going to get out, but still, that Uber disadvantage is quite large.
That was very well played. They knew that, like, Is This Highlander knew that the gun and the Pyro together would be, like, really hard to counter. Bird just reflected all the spam, because, like, and she, like, stood in the perfect spot to make sure that the Uber accomplished nothing.
Oh, Cake trying to go in for a play. Sadly, will be found out and will not get anything for it. Andy going to be able to find him.
Oh,
as
but
they
a
actually
backup! There's actually a backup. 2 players behind. The flank of Blue.
And they actually force an Uber out there as well, so that's actually a major play from the flank on the side of Pogjuice. Monty, and I think it was Lizard Wizard going behind and getting almost a back cap and a force. That's absolutely massive as this mid-fight, well, it could go back into one as they only have 1 player spotting now. They're at pretty much full Uber advantage, and they can maybe even stop this cap.
Blue are aggressing in. Oh, they've used their Uber. I don't know how much they've accomplished with this. Frydog jumps in. Oh, actually picks up Rocky Road. Makes me eat my own words. Perfect aggressive Uber ad.
But there is a back cap going on the side of Is This Highlander, and it will be shut down. There's also an engineer there. Lugnut's finding a frag onto Monty there, as now Lizard will shut that down, as now they will want to move forward. A bit disjointed because they're dealing with that flank, but of course there is no players on the side of Is This Highlander here, apart from Bird, who will be found pretty quickly there by a scout. As now they will have this second point and around about a 20% Uber advantage.
Yeah, good stuff from Frydog, in terms of, like, being really aggressive with, like, his ad Ubers. I think, like, yeah, the way the meta is shaped, like, these days is that you get your demo to, like, sticky forward with your ad. It's a lot easier to kill the med that way.
As we see a pretty, again, standard, just no heavy this time, Uber disadvantage situation. Last hold on the side of Is This Highlander.
Lose it though. I mean, yeah, they've pretty much lost it. They're like dwindled in like the right room for a bit too long as the Ubers even out.
And it looks like, just like as you expect, to run into a pirate, nothing is going to get done. The sentry does go down by Frydog, but Frydog's just going to get traded out by Bird.
Frydog just gets left to die at the end. That was a bit of a tragedy.
And well, that means no traps on this second point. It's going to be pretty much a free entry. No massive damage output for the side of
Rocky Road
Pogjuice.
actually popped his Uber. The Ubers have actually evened out. Oh yeah, they were traded, I should say.
Yeah, as Bird did do a trade there, got a
Oh,
good
but
deny. That's a
huge.
huge bomb.
Oh no! Oh, Lizard comes in for the counter bomb to get Rocky Road. I was about to say, I'd be fuming if I managed to get a good bomb like that and get denied by a Pyro. It's
That
like the
is
story of Highlander, but yeah.
absolutely good teamwork, abusing the fact that the Pyro can't deal with two soldiers at once. They've actually killed pretty much the whole enemy team. It's just a heavy here, and he doesn't even have a buff. He's going to get killed easily, and that is the first round going to the side of Pogjuice.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to go south after Bird denied the whole Uber, but like the refight from the blue soldiers was like, yeah, like just such good coordination. Is I think yeah they figured out that like, you gotta send one soldier and it's like the sacrificial lamb per se to draw the eyes, and then the other one comes in for the cleanup, which is exactly what Lizard and Cake accomplished on that bomb.
Well, next mid coming in here, and already there's a blue soldier in. Lizard was trying to make a play again, but he's just going to get denied. He's going to get blasted away, but they actually have a good amount of room. Fried are going to be able to find the first frag with a roller onto Exquisite, and they have no room here, Red. They're going to get found. Monty finding the other frag. Randy Rouge trying to fight back, but there's just nothing to do. Lugnuts will find Fried, which is a good pick, but it's just not enough. And there we go, Cake with the double kill.
Oh my god, that is comes in at the end, and yeah, actually dominating. Got a domination off that. Just heard the voice line. That's pretty good cleanup at the end there.
Yeah, and we actually do see Exquisite Spy, which is quite interesting considering that they are at pretty much even, maybe like 20 disad, which I think will even up a bit more to maybe like 15 disad, so this is going to be interesting. A bit of a throw it out there play with the Spy. I don't think they're going to be expecting this on Pogjuice, even though they probably should be expecting anything against this team. I don't know, Spy, I guess, and even Ubers is just a way to get out of this stalemate, because with the classes they have, it's kind of very hard to get out as it is.
I think it's honestly about momentum. Like the Spy is probably the class that can accomplish the like a med pick in the quickest amount of time. Like when you're on a last, but we say that as the blue Uber is used and it is ad. Red don't have their Uber yet. They're gonna isolate Bird and get the pick. Counterbomb comes in from Andy Root, but they're just going to play the point. The Spy doesn't even come to... He just stands on the point. Just stood on the point at the end, like knowing that he did nothing in the push.
Yeah, that's where Spy does really lose its power. As soon as the enemy team uses that advantage that they have, they use nothing. He can't do anything. Unless, you know, they run into you. There's nothing they can do, and they played that perfectly, just running straight to the point. So now we're coming to this third mid with Is Highlander down 2 points, and already they're on the low ground. They've lost so much positioning, but then there is Andy Root trying to find that positioning back, but he's going to get denied. There is going to be 2 frags from Bird onto Wizard and Monty. Time going to find Frydog, and this mid looks like it's very handy for Is Highlander.
That is how Is Highlander need to play. They need to play they need to bait the aggression of like blue into their pyro, and then just have the remaining players clean up on that aggression. So yeah, I think for like in terms of Bird, like the air blast works kind of like an Uber. Like it doesn't do any damage, but you need like other people to help like take advantage of that.
We will see Lizard on Sniper, so this is the first off-class, I think, from their side that we've seen. They're just going to jump in straight away. Andy for a sack. He's not going to find anything, trying to keep this momentum up. They are aware of the Lizard Sniper, as he is trying to find a more aggressive angle to catch him off guard here. See if they catch Rocky Road napping here, not being careful of the angles. But it looks like Rocky Road's playing a pretty standard position. Frydog will find Lugnuts though, so that is actually a good pick as Andy Roo now, coming up on the counter snipe.
You think Lugnuts maybe he just like walked into the sack? Because I don't know why he just walked in like that. As we see Andy Roo gets a pick onto Cake, so the sniping, the counter snipe comes out. I don't think they're going to be able to push off that. It's just a soldier pick, but it'll allow Red to take a bit more ground in the lobby and get a better angle.
Yeah, so both snipers, you know, they are very aware of each other here. So we're very interested to see who does win this battle. Actually, no, there is no sniper anymore on the side of Pogjuice, so Andy Roo will have a bit more free reign to do what he wants. They're just going to be clearing out these angles though on Pogjuice, making sure that Andy Roo doesn't get any angles, not even a chance to see Ravu, as Ravu standing in a pretty decent spot here. He's going to be very hard to get a shot onto.
I think that was the right call from Blue. Like they need like a soldier to like spam as many angles for the sniper as possible. So good awareness from Lizard to switch off there.
Yeah, Monty, of course, on that engineer, which will help deny any sacks from any soldiers coming in. blast them away into the skybox, as they will not be able to get anything. But Andy Rue, of course, being the only soldier, you know, he's the only one who can really get an effective sack here to go deep onto the medic. So, you know, he needs to find a snipe here, a lot of pressure onto him. As a scout, you know, with this big last point, won't be able to walk in very much. It's going to have to be either lucky pipes or a good shot from the side of Andy Rue. And looks like he's having a bit of trouble right now finding anything. And with, you know, them down on rounds, they don't want to spend too much time doing this.
Lugnuts gets caught out on the flank. I think, like, just a bit of impatience there. Cake manages to clean him up.
Andy Rue only finding a dispenser, which won't do anything, and Lizard actually sacking in and actually forcing the Uber here, and this is really bad on the side of this Highlander as they try and enter here. Andy Rue, he's trying to find a value pick onto Ravu here, and he's not actually being stopped, but now he is. He's been spotted, they're spamming him out, and that is not what you want to see from this Highlander.
He had one opportunity to get the hero shot off, but couldn't quite connect with the headshot there.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on him there, and, you know, obviously very hard to pull through. It's a low percentage play, as, you know, it is a hero shot after all. As now they will try and enter this mid, probably through Toxic here or Garage, as they are rotating to Garage here with this pretty large ad, and now it's up to Andy to really find a sack here, or if anyone can find themselves behind without being spotted. As Time actually going to find Cake, that trap going to find him, and they actually do use the Uber here. They will find the demo, it looks like. Monty will find the demo, but that Pyro is going to be able to deny space, and that's well played from Burgess, sitting the choke and deny that space so the medic can live.
And they've got a backup going on as well here on the side of Red Team. I don't think they're going to be able to make it in time, but they're denying. Good play. They actually will be able to get it off the back of that. Oh, no. Lizard Wizard bombs back to stop the backup. Just gets it just in time.
Yeah, that was almost very well played there from Scout, as Rocky Road actually going down at a very bad time here. They're going to be able to get second and get this essentially full Uber advantage. And there isn't going to be much they can do on the side of Isis Island. They've just got to trust these off-classes are going to do their work. And, you know, deny that Uber. But, you know, this team has gone into, Pogjuice has gone into Isis Highlanders, you know, set up so many times now. I think they're getting into a good rhythm, how to break it.
Yeah, I think they've like understood that it's about playing the pressure cooker game, like that the Pyro can't deny the whole world, and they just have to exploit that fact. That's how they broke the hold of Is This Highlander last time, is they just pop the Uber in and get so much ground, get the Pyro already. The gun falls like shortly after that, and they're just playing the point.
Yep, and again, that's another thing of these movement classes. If you just play the point, some of these classes won't be able to react quick enough and actually get to the point. So the cracks in the strategy showing through here, and the strong meta that has been staple for years upon years now, again proving its dominance as now we come into this fourth mid. And it looks like it's going to be pretty much the same as every other mid. Demo's rolling out the same area once again. Actually, the demo on the side of Frydog actually rolling out a different way. They're doing a heavy right side aggression here. Bird is trying to deny that soldier, but Tunnel Vision's a little bit. We'll find the frag, but we'll go down straight away. But Lugnuts is going to find Lizard, and there's actually a lot of frags. Lugnuts trying to find Frydog, gets the frag there. Time also finding Cruel Bomb. And wow, that is a very quick mid, very quick successive frags on the side of Isis Highlander, and they're going to be able to take that mid.
I think that really worked well off the fact that Bird drew the attention of Cake, got the trade, but then Lugnuts came in for the surprise flank, and then I think Red were able to coalesce after that.
Yep, as now it is pretty much even Ubers. I don't even think Blue really have to give up second here, but, you know, there is no real problem with giving it up. They do have the point advantage, and they actually do come out. As I say that, like they're listening to me or something. So they will come out, and they will be holding this second as they realize, hey, they aren't in yet, as they try and force their way through Toxic, but now that they realize Blue's actually on second, there's not much they can do.
Oh, a nice bomb from Andy. Gets the surf and gets the 2 rockets. His scouts weren't there to protect Ravu 4. Oh, but Lizard gets the counter spoon onto Rocky Road. No.
Oh my goodness, these soldiers just coming clutch for Pogjuice. That is the most clutch thing I've seen in recent day. Their medic just gets a drop, so he just goes for the, you know, hero play with the spoon and just dominates Rocky, and that will be tilting.
I think, like, ever since Jay, like the Froyo soldier, started to like really pound with the marker gun, and people are understanding that it's a bit more than just a Muso of meme, and like it can actually be run in Highlander. As we see the Andy spy, decloaks on the midpoint. I don't think he's gonna be able to like get much in his current position. He's got to like walk over to like the blue team, and he's like just wandering around in the back lines at the moment.
Yeah, you know, we saw last time Exquisite when he was on Spy. He actually wasn't able to get anything done, as now Andy are on the Spy, and they seem to be aware of Andy's presence now. So this is very bad for Andy, as they are at a big disadvantage, and they also have a Spy, but at the same time, if Pogjuice take too long just trying to deal with the Spy, their Uber advantage is going to dwindle, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I mean, I think he just walked back to spawn. Like he did his job. Like he didn't give up his life, and he made it so that Blue really questioned their decision as to whether or not to push in or to try find the spy. So yeah, the Ubers have even out now. Oh, as you see, Lizard actually takes out Andy and all after that whole fiasco.
Yeah, so Andy going for another stab, not able to find anything, as the Spy has had 0% success rate so far in this game, as both teams seem to be pretty aware, mainly Pogjuice being aware that, hey, they could be on Spy right now, so good awareness from them as, Cake in a really good spot, but he is actually going to get spotted out. Good checking from the side. Oh, how does he win that fight against Bird? He somehow wins that fight against Bird, and they are actually just going to straight Uber in. Exquisite screaming at his medics to be saved here, and they will. And actually, Revo4 gets caught, but he actually manages to get out the remainder of his Uber, and I think this is going to be a standard trade, and nothing else is going to happen.
Yeah, I was thinking that Andy should have just ran back to spawn like after he got found out. Like he stalled the Ubers. I don't know why he like tried to go for the even more low percentage chance of trying to stab after you've been found out. As you see, Monty just walks into the sticky trap at time, doesn't have a look. I mean, maybe it really is the sideshow theory, like spies only work after the third life.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it does happen a lot. You know, all those times you do see it happen, I'm sure there is 1,000 times that it doesn't, but still, one can dream as Monty will go down to the pyro of Bird on that shotgun. As now it's just pretty much standard. They are going to try and counter-sack here as Bird peeking, probably for her soldier, saying, hey, that's where they are. And so Andy can go in for a play here, and he does.
He like got caught on the edge there, so he couldn't get enough horizontal distance on his bomb, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I think he ran into the demo there mid-jump. The demo accidental hero play, and he's just going to body block for his medic. Is now Blue are going to take that opportunity, no soldier, to be able to take this lobby. A nice position to have more map control. It makes it harder for the enemy team to do something. As now they want to, you know, maybe force a little bit of an issue. They do have the time on their side, so in theory they don't really have to do anything. In 9 minutes, 3 points, that's going to be really rough for this Highlander.
I was about to say Bird should be running the Scorch Shot if it's unbanned, but I think it's banned. That weapon is such a joke, like, that one little flare capsule, being able to set so many people on fire as time manages to bait Cake into a nice trap.
So nothing too fancy happening right now apart from Andy again on the Spy, and I think that, you know, they're going to be ready for this. Surely at this point they're going to be ready. It doesn't look like they're checking so much for it, but I don't know, maybe they aren't aware, but I would imagine that they'll be thinking about it as Lugnut's actually finding Lizard in that, so Lugnut's left on 15 HP, but he will win that fight. As, yeah, Andy trying to find him, and he's actually just hiding in lobby.
Lugnut's just trying for the flank entry play, then he saw Cake, and Cake shot one rocket, and then Lugnut's knew it was all over.
Yeah, Lugnut's, he's going for something, you know, you gotta go for something with this time limit pressure
to be honest,
on you.
if he was to go for something, he'd have to like go for like a Frontier Justice crit play or something. Like get like run minis and get an assist, or like have someone destroy his mini. Like I think he has to be a bit creative with it if he wants it to succeed.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why he went behind there if it was for hero play, because again, they do have Andy on that Spy who actually hasn't done anything yet. I'm not sure if he's waiting for the perfect time, as looks like they are searching for him, and as I say that, Andy will die. He will perish and be sent back to spawn, as now that's 2 players down on the side of red, but I don't think they're pushing here. I think they're just letting this clock run down.
Oh, surely not. I mean, they're not coffee clock. They should like at least try like a sack or something. I mean, it worked out really well when like Cake and Lizard like collapsed onto that second push out from Is This Highlander, and they won the round off it.
One thing that I have seen is Cake is on conch. or Battalion's backup, or something like that. I can't actually quite tell from here what it is, but it's backup's Battalion. Battalion's backup, sorry. So, that, maybe they're trying to play around this? I'm not exactly sure as Monty does go down. But they definitely have something planned here, as this is not something you typically see. So Scout actually trying to walk in, exquisite. Well, he's gonna get found. Bird also gonna get found. Oh no, this Uber is just completely denied. Nothing done with it. Time does find a frag, but I think Rocky drops Bird there and that whole Uber plan just goes out the window, as they will just run into last year.
Oh, but Rocky actually hides in the sentry and manages to bait Frydog to jump into him, but yeah, it's not really gonna like evaluate so much. The banner is popped, but banner is popped and the side of blue just re-aggress, cleaning up the last few players. Or are they not? No, Time and Bird. Oh, but Lizard at the end. He did not deserve to win that. Time and Bird did such a good job of delaying that entire fight after the banner pop, and they like should have honestly held it off, but Lizard just bombs in, catches Time off guard as he walks forward, thinking that the fight was won.
Yeah, that is a good play from Lizard Wizard, just seeing how much cap time there is and jumping straight into that point, as now they will come into this next bit, and again, hyper aggression from Pogjuice, and oh, so much damage, as the medic will be found, and all it is in the kill feed is just a sea of blue. There's nothing that could be done, it feels like, and this game looks like, well, I hate to call it early, but it looks like this game's kind of over.
Yeah, that's such a good aggressive middle from the side of blue, and they just pick up so many frags. Red really weren't expecting it. I think they were like expecting historically like the blue aggression to be handled a lot better by their pyro, but they're not ready for it on that particular occasion. I think maybe like I think blue, sorry, also aggress with their players, so that like combined team aggression really helped them win the mid.
Yeah, so you know, if they wanted to way back into this game, they really need to win that mid, and now they're stuck back on last. And at a major disad, yeah, that's definitely not a position you want to be in, as Ravu decides to use it anyway. See if they can close this out in a 5-0, but Bird doing what a Pyro does best and just denying that Uber, and I think this Uber is not going to get anything done. Ravu going in deep to save the scout, and such good movement on Ravu to be able to live that, and they're actually going to be on the point. They might actually get this point. There's so much cap time. They're getting so many frags. Ravu pulling out the weaponry that he has, but the mini sentry and Andy Root are going to be able to clutch out that last fight, but I don't think that's going to have any sway in the result of this game.
Yeah, Monty's actually hiding under, but yeah, I think the mini was really the winning factor at the end. It pretty much like became like a third, like an additional person, and Lugnut's also put his mini in a good position to the point where like the last blue player, the last scout had to like split their attention between the mini and Lugnut's.
Yeah, it looks like this bait play that they're trying to do here, Blue. I wonder if it'll work out. Cake finding two.
Oh,
Well, he finds the player.
Destroys Lizard and Monty. They try for a double aggression play, but just shut down by Time.
Yes, yep, exquisite going down, and Frydog finding a second frag there. There's now, well, there's 3 minutes 30 left, and they're back on this second point. As Red now it's just pure desperation. I don't even think it's mathematically possible to win this game now.
I think this is beyond the realm. It's 3 minutes and 14 seconds. I think we're just playing. They're just playing to pad their stats at this point. I mean, Cake's like in, like the rest of his team backs him up, and gets memed on by Andy Bruise on Scout. But the Uber's
like they
popped,
might actually,
yeah,
they close it out 5-0.
Yeah, they're gonna get the 5-0 on the side of Pogjuice.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one for this Highlander, as the first 2 rounds actually looked really, really close, and it could go either way, but then as soon as, you know, Pogjuice got into, you know, I guess a rhythm of how to play against this wacky comp, they just dominated, and there wasn't really much adaptation from the side of this Highlander.
Yeah, I think if they were to like try like readapt their playstyle, it'd have to be with the usage of a different like class combination. I think like having like the cookie cutter except swap out a soldier for a pyro wasn't really gonna do it for them. If they wanted to run like a Highlander-esque meta, it'd have to be with like a sniper or like some other class that can pressure at distance a bit easier. to account for that missing soldier.
Yeah, 100%. I think this is a good time now. Well, we're getting on to the second map, loading up while the teams get ready, is to look at the logs here. There's straight 5-0 from the side of Pogjuice, and straight away, looking at the damage, Time actually had a fantastic game there, having 310 DPM, and then below them, Cake with 264, and then Friday with 257, so Cake doing a huge amount of work on the soldier, and as I said before, Time doing a good amount, but it just wasn't enough for his team to convert.
I think like, yeah, like a demo's damage is only as good as like his soldiers or scouts that follow up, and well, I mean, like, yeah, he didn't really have soldiers to follow up on his damage. He had the singular soldier that just got shut down by the Blue Scouts. And I think that like the mids where like Blue like aggressed into Isis Highlander in Time was able to like farm damage off the aggression that was coming into him worked out a lot better than the times when like the entirety of Blue just aggressed and he got kind of got overwhelmed at the end. But like,
yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you're a soldier, you know, you hear, oh, your demo says he's done, 80 damage to something. You know, your instinct is to jump it, especially on a mid. But when there's only one soldier and the pyro can't close that distance, yeah, it just doesn't happen. So that damage from the demo just is completely not turned into any frags.
I know that in Highlander, Bird always runs the detonator, and it's so effective in terms of Ubers because the detonator does allow the pyro to cover that like distance that the soldier can in the short term of these Ubers. But I think it's banned in it's been banned now in ozfortress. So I think that ban has definitely impacted the effectiveness of Bird, like as a trading player in Ubers. I think, yeah, like she's been a bit more relegated to denial as opposed to like actually trying to accomplish like a force or something that like a scout or a demo could do.
And I think something to point out is that these classes, they are running off the engineer, the pyro, the heavy. You see them all triple bottom damaging. 150 or 172, 154, and 142. So they weren't able to do much damage, but I can't talk for too much longer as we are actually going straight into this second map on process. As we have Pogjuice versus Isis Highlander. Yep.
Quick note, Ravu literally dying half the amount of times as Rocky Road, 6 compared to 12, so the survivability really translated in terms of like how much more heals he got out and like Ubers in general.
As we come into this first mid, Blue straight away getting that super high ground as Andy
God.
on his signature Beggar's Bazooka, and he will find a good frag. But Ravu, did you see that surf that he got? As he would surf and he slides down the rock and survives, but he will be found, and Bird actually finding a reflect rocket onto Monty. Is Monty in chat saying there it is, and Lizard is going to find time to salvage, but Rocky Road is alive. Wow, Andy went super high there and died super quick.
But Rocky Road dies just as the back end of that fight. I don't know why is this Highlander abandoned Rocky, but they did, and like the Blue Scout just came in and cleaned up onto the med, taken down for his efforts.
Well, because that mid went down and Ravu spawned way earlier, they're going to re-enter this mid. The players on mid have little to no healing. Well, no healing at all, actually. Just the health packs on the mid to help them, and that's already been taken. And they want to fight this for some reason, but there's just no way they're going to live. That demo, he could have been jumped there maybe. There was a pyro there, but they will get out. They want to re-enter, but they have to remember they are at disad. They want to get this mid back before this Uber is found on the side of Pogjuice. Nothing much going on. Monty will find Lugnuts, Andy Roo finding Lizard, but really, again, this lack of mobility on the pyro, she's just sitting there spamming flames, but there's really nothing you can do. She just goes down. This big mid that's so open, there's just nothing you can do on pyro. The roof is so powerful.
Bird did a good job. As I say that, the blue Uber comes in, catches out the straggling heavy. Rocky Road 20% behind on Uber, and Ravu manages to get Friday managed to get the pick. Is Lugnut's gonna be able to, get the med pick? It missed 4 players, is not gonna be able to. But On the mid, Bird did a good job of baiting the pipe out of like the red demo, and managed to like deny a lot of it. But yeah, after
Yeah, it's
that,
just...
off the
And
back of
there
that
is the point.
damage,
Pretty easy wipe into there for the side of Pogjuice.
yeah. So I think they kind of got like farmed on that like post Uber fight, and then it all fell apart from there. So Bird got the like Bird reflected Frydog's pipe, and Frydog went a bit back, and Lugnut tried to follow up on the damage, and he was so close to killing Frydog, but wasn't able to secure the frag. And off the back of that, I think the trade went sour.
Well, again, we see another just
My
gigantic
God,
bomb from
so
Andy.
much-
He's actually going to be able to get in and
How
get
does he
Ravu.
get so much height and so much speed?
And
And,
the
like,
man is just a legend with that weapon. And you think of ozfortress, you think of the Beggars Bazooka, you think of Andy, and now, you know, the rest of the players, they're trying to do something, but I think they're just as flabbergasted as us. How the hell did Andy do that?
I mean, I do remember this old streamer that used to. He was a beggar's god. And I think maybe Andy's watched some of his old VODs potentially, but I don't know who else has really been able to use the beggars to like pull off effective jumps like that. As we see an aggressive sniper out of last push out here from Lizard Wizard.
And we do actually have Rocky Road on the Crits Creek here, so this will aid them into getting to last, as it will be unexpected. Lizard going down, but they actually going to be kiting this pretty well. No other frags have actually come in from this crit, so Sentry does go down, but that's it so far. But they're just going to play point here, and that might actually turn out in their favour. Exquisite Funny Frag, Andy Ruvania Frag, and that is going to be the round on the side of Is This Highlander, the first round they've gone in this matchup.
I think that literally just was one off the back of the chaos from mid. I mean, Andy managed to get the God Bomb with the beggars, and then like Red just like really were able to coalesce around around the medic, especially with Exquisite and Bird as such good bodyguards. Is he gonna go for it again? Is he gonna jump off with his 2 rockets, with his 3 rockets onto the ball? Gets one onto Ravu. Doesn't get the second one, but Lugnuts is there to finish up the damage. But Blue like coalesced like after that Andy bomb.
They had
Oh,
players
no.
that jumped early in behind to their sewer, and even if they lost Ravu, they just pinched and absolutely crushed Red as a trash compactor sort of players. Yeah, Andy's gonna feel bad about that because I just don't think people are looking up high enough. And even then, if you look up that high, what can you even do? The scouts do like 5 damage, you know, you have to do air shot, like, there's not really much you can do against that, so it is a pretty strong play. I used to play on a team with Andy for a bit, and whenever he said, I'm running beggars, I'm like, are you sure? And then he'd just go in and do stuff. He's just a god with the weapon, he's maximizing the potential out of it.
I mean, I think it was like a worthy trade. You probably give up your mid if it means you win the mid and get the like 6 other remaining players, but it's just like interesting to see that, yeah, they don't really have an answer. Like, Blue doesn't have an answer for just like the sheer velocity of the weapon.
As we actually do see Ravu now doing the Rocky Road theory, hopping on the Kritzkriegers. Rocky Road, well, he is going to be on Uber, but it's actually going to be somewhat even. Rocky doing a good job of building, but they want to use this quick, and, well, Bird is just like, yeah, look, that crits is cute and all, but you're not going to be able to find too many frags, but it's actually the flank.
From Monty. Oh, gets so much cap time, and actually, the Rodeo is going to be forced off the back of that. They don't really have many players up, and like Blue are just going to kite this so well, blasting the remaining Uber players off the point.
Yeah, well played there from Frydog. He made sure that he did his job of just blasting those Uber players off the point, as even though they are invincible, they cannot block the point when they are out of the cap zone in the air. So, well played from him, maximizing the potential there, as now they will be coming into this fourth middle actually. As do we see Andy Ru's deep bomb? I think we're seeing it. He's loading up, and he is going deep. Ravu though with a great surf there. He is going to land on the roof, but he's going to catch a reflect. What is that? A reflect? What? Is that a reflect arrow?
I think it's a reflect arrow. I did see the little arrow, so... Oh,
I think
no,
that's technically Ravu killing himself, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess Ravi drops a bra in the chat.
I've actually never seen that, especially in a Sixers game. That's incredible. Ravu just shooting an arrow at the enemy, trying to pressure as well, and then Bird is just so ready for it, and Ravu catches it right back at him, and of course that won't heal you, as now they are going to be coming back into this mid, but they don't have Uber charged, as Ravu, as we just mentioned, did inadvertently kill himself. So Now, you know, they are just helping aid their soldier to get in to do something, but nothing is going to be done. And it looks like they may even have to concede second here.
I mean, ready or aggressing. Oh, they've actually used their Uber in. Oh, but Time gets in really aggressively. Doesn't connect the pipe onto Ravu. This pocket scout was there to protect him really well. Cake trying to bomb in onto the combat. Doesn't go to IT for the flank play. It was good to see that Red like aggressively used their Ubers, trying to take that from what Frydog did last round. As Cake in for the bomb, gets the one, gets the two. Oh, that was such a nice flick rocket at the start onto Rocky and managing to secure the frag while Bird was distracted.
Oh, but exquisite! He almost finds Ravu there as well. He found 2 frags initially, and then just jumped down and almost found Ravu. That was so close there, and he'll be feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit about that, as we actually have a back cap from Lugnuts himself, but the spawners are here to stop it, and Cake just sits on his face, but there's a drop. Ravu is gonna go down there. The time, I'm pretty sure that was a trap, and he will die with 100%, and all their momentum that they just gained is now lost.
Yeah, I mean, it was funny. Frydog was just about to like roll out with the stickies, and then he saw Lugnuts and got a sticky off onto him to make sure they got cleaned up easily in the end.
It's now Exquisite, you know, showing his presence on the mid with that 300 HP, soon to be 450 with that full buff is now, you know, showing, you know, that is my strength of my class. I can really sponge anything that comes at me, and if you don't have heals, you're definitely not going to find anything. As now they will probably have to concede this second point as well. They don't really have any advantage to go off, in fact only a disadvantage, and that is in the Uber side of things. And now we will be seeing an Uber advantage push from Rocky Road.
They're going to use it in off time here. Jumps forward aggressively, but they've kited it really well. They've just managed to shift to the like their own left hand side where they've got that gun, and Bird can't really do much against it.
Yeah, this Uber is actually not going to get a huge amount done, as Lizard Wizard Monty actually going to be finding frags there, as the red heavy, he's not going to be able to do anything, and this whole Uber just goes, you know, downhill because, to be honest, there's a melee fight going on second. This time we'll win that, but I think that just shows the weaknesses of this comp, is that the movement is just not there. If they kite your Uber, there's not even a chance to chase them.
I mean, like, yeah, Bird was just stuck at the end trying to, like, M1 a sentry gun, and it was just not happening. I mean, I guess Bullet does beat fire in that sense. But yeah, just, like, Blue just, like, rotated around upstairs, and no one on Red was fast enough to catch up, as they just got punished by the gun and the post-kite collapse. Time gets a pick on the Cake. Frydog countering onto Exquisite, takes down that heavy, jumps in aggressively with his stickies.
Yeah, and here we go. There is a scout trying to find something onto the medic, and he's got his bat out, and he's actually not going to be able to find anything there with that. But it is a little bit close to comfort there for Ravu, as he is going to have to run away with this scout. Bit of a miscommunication between the two, but they will link back up. TG doing his best to protect Ravu, as now they'll actually find Time there, as Time gets a little bit overzealous. And now Lizard is going to show his presence on the roof. Hit some good rockets there. He's actually quite confident to keep going. And an Uber is forced out. Rocky looking for players to Uber. And he does have Ubered players now, but they don't have any positioning for this post fight. The soldiers on blue just taking the roof and closing in on them, as Rocky's fate, I think, has been sealed. He will perish on this mid.
Such a good collapse on the side of blue. I mean, they just walked in and off the back of their aggression managed to clean up all the frags. That's honestly been like a recurring theme. Like the times when they just all commit and Frydog just aggresses, they like wipe. They wipe is this Highlander. But if they don't do that, then is this Highlander like you know, absorb the damage really well. So we see a pop in come in off the side of blue through door one, gets the pick on a Bird. Frydog gets Exquisite, as they're just going to coalesce on the left hand side here. Heal up and, you know, coalesce the damage. But Lugnuts and Time and Andy Rue all combined to get 3.
They actually find all the frags needed there to actually win that fight, is Blue taking a bit of time to actually, you know, get some cap time and get some frags, and, you know, Red are just going to punish that. So I think something to note about this composition on Red is that playing post Ubers for them is actually really hard, as we see Blue trying to come in, but nothing to be found. Andy, we're on the going down, but yeah, the post plant position finding, you can't really do it, especially on some of these mids with a pyro. You know, the pyro actually has to do like a skill jump all the way up onto the roof or whatever, and it's just so much harder. And the heavy, I don't think he can get up there at all, so they actually try and enter into this middle, and they will be able to bully him through for the most part, as even though they don't have Uber yet, there's a huge...
Oh, Lizard, he was in behind and he tried to go for a, like a skip jump in, but didn't hit it, and Exquisite just killed him with his market gardener. Oh, that's not what you want to be seeing as we see the red Uber come out. Yeah.
Ravu is going to go down. Time able to find that this time with the demo bomb. And this round surely will be a conversion, as Monty is going to try and find something to salvage, but he will burn to death TG. Oh, I hate that feeling of burning to death. Feels quite unfair. As now Red want to keep this momentum up. Heavy coming in, and the Soldier of Lizard jumps into a heavy. That's not what you want to jump into. They're just going to play the point.
They're going to play the point. They're going to cap it out. So they're going to coast to coast win. And okay, to be honest, they shouldn't have won. I don't think is this Highlander did a good job of kiting the post-fight Uber when they were defending their last. Like, Time had his pipes out. He should have had his stickies out to, like, deny the players aggressing forward, but he managed to just pick up Ravu 4, and off the back of that, his team managed to get a few more frags, and that was the defense.
Well, this mid coming in already, as we actually see it trying to get a reflect jump on the side of Bird there. Anti-Rue going to be finding Monty with his signature weapon. He will go down. No Ravu 4 pick for him this time. And now the Soldier's just trying to come in, but they've got to remember, that's a heavy and a pyro. Literally 2 anti-air weapons right there. You cannot do anything against that. You just got to play the patience game. And Demo coming in, was that a bomb? I think that was a bomb from him. He will go down. Maybe a bit of some impatience there. And playing the patience game, I think that's how they're going to win these mids on the side of Pogjuice.
Yeah, Ravu was like perched up on the roof at the end, which is really good positioning. He knew that, like, I don't know how he got up there, probably surfed off some damage, but knew that, like, if he stayed up there, he'd be fine, because all, like, the mobile red classes were, like, all down. So that, like, really secured the mid for them at the very end.
Now we are seeing a pretty standard stalemate now. I say standard with a pyro on second and a heavy as well, but pretty standard in terms of no teams trying to push into each other here, just plain standard.
I'm just spamming out at this choke point, nothing really much happening. Bird, spamming a few flares. I think the choice of Flare Garden is really good to make it so that, like, she can still do long range damage at the bare minimum and, like, annoy players by setting them on fire. I really hate cross-map flares, they're just so annoying, like, it's just like, why?
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Cross-map flares are just annoying, and the burn, and yeah, it's just annoying. As Lizard will find Lugnuts there, opening an opportunity for a sap there if you really want to sap into a heavy and a pyro. It's a bit rough, as that is one very big advantage to this, and there is a drop.
No, Time just 2 pipes Ravu, a bit overzealous at the end there. But Cake! No way, he gets it! I don't believe this. He just sits in the corner and no one saw him and he's gonna get out with his life? No. Oh, but the backcap coming out, the double scout backcap, they're gonna get this. They pick off the lone heavy. It's gonna be an MGE fight at the end here. Lugnuts gets hit with a god arrow to make sure that he stays alive and wins the fight. Good arrow from Rocky Road there at the end. But that is a good way to off that.
Yeah, it's a good way to delay time there for their team to, you know, reset up on middle here. But is it enough? That's Lizard actually going deep, not able to find anything there. And as much as they delayed, I don't think they're going to be able to find anything onto this middle point. Cake getting out with his life. And now I think it's just going to be a standard stalemate here, this time with Blue on their second.
So how did, like, Time get the pick? Did he just spam pipes and then...
I'm pretty sure that was just spam pipes from Rever. It was just wrong place, wrong time.
I actually hate the Time double pipe. Like, I've died to it so many times. It's just like, why?
Yeah, it's not something you want to be dropping to. It feels like you're quite unlucky, and it is a bit of, you know, bad positioning, you know, bad time. Maybe not even bad positioning, sometimes it just comes over the top of your whole team, you just get bonk bonk and you're dead, and there's your whole Uber gone, so...
I think,
been unlucky there for Ravu,
this Highlander have, like, done such a better job on this map of, like, playing playing so that their like Highlander class is really like centered around their med and just make it so that it's really hard for blue to get any sort of med pick or aggression now.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a much better job of maximizing what their classes can do, and the demo time getting extremely overzealous, and he will get picked off straight away for trying to do such a thing. And this is an advantage that they can actually play off here on the side of Pogjuice, and it looks like they actually want to walk into this choke. There will obviously be no traps here, but this flare and fire is just so annoying. They actually will end up trading here. And Monty kind of gets left out to dry in that trade as the demo will jump away. Ravi's been chased by Bird, as now that will be denied by Cake, and Lugnuts will find Lizard, but no medic will be found. And it looks like Pogjuice still want to fight this, but now they decide that is not a good idea and they will get out.
They're just playing it so much better on the side of Isis Highlander in terms of like baiting the aggression and like cleaning up on it. I think Exquisite does there's like good job of you know, making sure that whatever Bird lacks he makes up in, like in terms of like bomb denial, which is why we've been seeing the blue soldiers like struggling so much again, like in terms of bombing now. Like before they like were able to like kind of avert the attention of the pyro, but now like Exquisite's there to also back up that denial, and it makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, and we actually do see the Andy Roo spy once again. And also, we actually have Lizard on Sniper, so double off classes. I'm not sure if they actually checked each other. I don't know. Maybe they didn't. As Andy Root looks like he wants to find a pick here. He is in door 5, and I don't know if they're looking. They're kind of looking around here. Yeah, I think they are looking on the side of Pogjuice, looking around for a possible spy play. As Lizard Wizard is actually off the sniper now, just playing around his medic and the flank, trying to find out where the hell the spy actually is, and he will be found. He is so weak, actually, he will live, but he has no cloak left, and he will... Oh, now he has some cloak left, but it's just going to keep running out. He will just delay his death.
We see the, yeah, like, Lizard Wizard has a little sus out, but just gets, like, eaten alive by so much spam. The blue Uber is popped out. They're trying to go trade. They trade on their heavy, which is questionable trade in my opinion. It doesn't really have like much like mobility in terms of damage. Just like blue are just gonna run out at the end of that.
Yeah, it looks like that is really not going to be decisive of anything here at 2-2 with 10 minutes left. It looks like they're just going to grind Ubers once again and just play another stalemate with probably some more off classes.
I mean, oh,
So
so you see
Andy-
that, yeah.
Andy has decided better of that spy play. He's tried it a lot and had 0% success. As this team seems to just be a little bit too ready for him, and now he's on the scout, which means 0 soldiers on the side of Isis Highlander.
I mean, I can understand it because, like, I think process, like, I think how they're trying to play it is they're trying to make it so that they're baiting the aggression, like Isis Highlander are baiting the aggression into them, so they want as many classes that can like do that like follow-up damage on the aggression, which is maybe why they have the scout. They have like the 2 scout. They've opted to have the 2 scouts on the side of Lugnuts and Andy Roo. So I think like it's been interesting to see that they view their soldiers as like wild card players, like as in they just want Andy on mids on beggars to like get these flashy bombs, but outside of that, he hasn't really been accomplishing much, like as a lonesome soldier. So it's good to see this swapped off in the scout where there's a bit more utility where it can like hold hands with Lugnuts.
Yeah, as Monty will actually find a frag, as they actually just say, let's just go in with this, and they will trade once again. Bird almost been left out to dry there, but will get picked up by Rocky. Monty will find that heavy, and this is actually a pretty good player it managed to play off here. They're actually going to enter second, and there's not much that Red can do here. They're going to have to concede, and that is slow, but it is still progress from the side of Pogjuice.
Yeah, I think like the problem was the bird was really low at the end and like needed a flash, and as we just see like the aggressive play coming out from off the back of Fire Dog's jump in, manages to secure a med pick off the back of that. Lugnuts caught us a straggler behind. But yeah, I think Bird needed to be like a more central player in that Uber if she wanted to accomplish more. Like she was just kind of left out to dry and then like forced to like get flashed and just make the Uber drain quicker. And as we see, Blue just managed to punish that by just aggression.
And now it's a complete flip for the side of Pogjuice. Now they actually have a massive Uber advantage coming in. They're going to try and get through door 1. Bird pseudo forcing that Uber is now they won't be able to get in. Bird doing a fantastic job of denying that Uber, but will it be enough? Will it buy enough time? And they're just going to play the point, and there is the weakness of this composition. They just can't get to that point. Blue playing that perfectly, seeing that the enemy is, nowhere near the point, so what do? You play the point, try and bait the fight into them, and well, it just, at the end of the day, they're just capped instead of baiting, which is the better outcome. Is now Blue Demo is a little bit faster on this mid, and they actually, again, have such good ground. I don't see Andy yet. Here he is in the skybox. They're ready for him this time, and he will get shut down completely. Ravu 4 will get shot out of the air, skeet shooting by Exquisite, and now the salvage attempt is coming in from Blue, but they are not going to be able to find anything. These classes do kind of exceed at denying such aggression into their medic from soldiers, and there we go, that's the mid towards this is Highlander, but Rocky Road will go down very late, and the scouts of Blue, they are actually going to clutch it out there. Monty and TG going massive, and it's actually going to win that mid as a soldier, trying to come back in. Andy showing once again that he's got such good jumps. Monty will actually go down there, I'm sorry, as Andy will actually go down there in the end, so a salvage attempt, but it will not end out good.
Not really much to comment there. I feel bad for Ravu getting like shot out of the sky by the heavy, just by the turret. I think Exquisite made the right choice to run the Tomislav. I think in 6s, you need at least the higher rev speed to compensate for the fact that you're a heavy. But
yeah, definitely, 100%. That does definitely help. The speed of 6s. You can't, wait for your gun to rev up. It's just better just to, be ready to go straight away.
But the IT aggression on the side of Blue is really good. They pick up like a struggling Exquisite. But Annie Rue gets a pick onto Monty. I don't imagine that Blue are going to be able to do much off the back of that. Lizard looks like he's going to get caught out as well. Trying to 1v1 time at the back here. Oh, but like the rest of Blue are just going to aggress off the back of that. They just walk in while Red were kind of like held back, trying to like watch for Cake. They're just now perched up back on their last, as we see even Ubers with 5 minutes and 12 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what Blue want to do here, if that is park the bus or actually try and make a play out of this even Uber situation. Really nothing to go off here, so I think they are just going to play it safe, and they need to be careful not to get too overzealous at any point, lose any of their vital classes like their demo. They just need to chill here, as I say that Cake and Lizard both going down. Lizard is going to find a trade on Lugnauts, but they are still down a player here. But this is where this composition is a bit rough. They don't have the speed to try and follow up. They are going to try and exit here. That heavy's just kind of stuck there now, and that demo's kind of been left out to dry. As now, Blue give a lot of respect, though, to that push out, and they are actually just going to give that up and play the mid.
Not really much gonna be happening here. Red just perched up so well with both their like protective, defensive classes. I'm actually curious. Like Pyro's class is the third class in terms of like defense, offense, or whatnot. In terms of the default TF2 menu, but yeah, Andy Rue goes down in the midst of this even Uber's stalemate.
Yeah, the time is definitely ticking down on the side of this Highlander. I'm expecting to see some sort of trade or some sort of play to get this Uber pop to maybe, another double pipe from a time to drop Ravu. They really want to do something here, as time is definitely not on their side. They are around down, and this match, as we said before, is quite important for them to actually win at least one map. So yeah, we will be seeing this stalemate continue, but expect something out of this Highlander. As actually, I think a force came through there, as Cake will find Andy Rue. Andy Rue finding a very clutch force now, and it is up to Blue to find this counter force here. Cake and Lizard been doing a great job of doing that in this game. But, with these classes and how they're bunched up right now, it's going to be very hard to find a way in.
Our control point is being captured.
Oh, there is the flank backcapping on the side of the red mid. Oh, actually, sorry. Blue are backcapping. The second, but Lugnut's there to clean up both players. Is yeah, his team's just gonna back out off the back of that. They're gonna like, face the full power of a heavy at mid, just revving up and shutting down all like future aggression. But they are a round up, so they are still a bit more comfortable, even though they've just lost that mid.
Yeah, as looks like they are going to be taking this second point. And the Ubers are going to even out, but this is exactly where this Highlander wanted to be. Waiting to go into last, and they are, they will lose their Uber advantage being a bit slow. And again, as I've said, many times, this comp has such a horrible kind of movement speed as a combo. Oh jeez, Monty. Okay, just destroying Andy Roo there. Andy Roo just trying to have a little peek, and Monty just says no to that. And now it's just looking like it's gonna stay all out, just like typical TF2.
I mean, like, I'd say it's a win. Oh, but they got forced in the end. Oh no, Rocky Road forces his Uber. I was gonna say it was like it is technically a win for them, like being able to push out so many points onto like Blues all the way, pushing Blue all the way back to their last, but Blue are just gonna pop out their Uber in response and get the point back by the looks of it, unless Time gets another. Oh, the back cap! Long nuts! Caps in the background, and I think with 1 minute and 26 seconds, it's like either team can like just secure the last round and win it out, but I think a likely result is gonna be just going to a backup. I think like one of these two teams are gonna just like wait it out after like mids happen, and like Time gets the early frag onto Lizard, and behind this guy with his Pegasus bazooka, see what he can get.
Oh, he's almost found Ravu 4 here, and Ravu 4 is going to go down because he has to run into the enemy team to dodge, Andy Roo's, Pegasus bazooka. As it looks like Blue will win this mid fight, but they don't have their medic alive to, continue this momentum. This is going to be very rough to, get this last point with 40 seconds left. They're going to have to get their medic out here, cap second, and just run into last, not even able to scout out what's going on.
Time gets like a lot, like just that last man pipe onto the Blue Scout to make sure that it was a 2v1 at the very end. But it's not really going to matter. Oh, actually, Ravu, because he died so much earlier in the fight relative to Rocky, he's going to spawn up with an Uberad. Of about 20%. Oh, it's actually crits, sorry, on the side of Blue. Let's see what they're gonna do to evade Bird.
Well, they only have 10 seconds here. They're gonna have to walk in now, and already Lizard going down. And oh, there is the collapse. Nothing's gonna happen. We are going to golden cap here on process.
Golden to going cap. Yes, we're going to a golden cap. That was like such a more well-adapted style of play from the side of this Highlander. I think they kind of realized that if they're going to play with these Highlander classes, that the W key is not the first one you press on your keyboard, and they really were rewarded for it. I mean, like Exquisite and Bird did such a good job of just shutting everything down. I think they kind of realized that like last map they just like fed into Blue so much more than they needed to, and they kind of realized that like, oh, we should just like play back and wait for them to make the mistakes. It really played into their favor. Well,
this would be a good time before we go straight to golden cap to look at these logs real quick. And looking at them right now, Frydog with 363 DPM, Lizard with 300, and TG with 300 himself, also going 33 and 11. So, of course, naturally, with, like a heavy and stuff on the side of Is This Highlander, there's going to be a bit more damage given. But that damage, it didn't seem to sway the tides as that well. I mean, really, their only reason we're in this back cap is because of that. I mean, in this golden cap, sorry, is because of that back cap from Lugnuts.
I'm just having a look. Time getting 6 med picks as a demo man. That's like ridiculous. Like there was that 2 pipe one, and then I presume the others are just a combination of pipes and like stickies. But I think when the demo man gets picks onto a medic, it's a sign of like either a pocket scout not checking traps, or like the pocket soldier not shutting down the demo enough. Like if the demo man's like literally being able to walk forward and spam your med, like you know that he's not being shut down. That's just like my take on the matter.
Yeah, we'll see. Looking at those off classes that have been run, Exquisite actually doing quite a bit of work on the heavy. Actually ending up with 236 DPM. Of course, he was on scout for also a tiny bit, only 2 minutes though, compared to his 26 minutes on heavy. So he's coming out a lot better on this map. Actually going 17 and 16 there. As the other off classes, well, Bird again 12 and 17, but something that isn't shown on the logs is denying those Ubers, and she did a lot of that.
I think it was the combination of Exquisite and Bird just really combining to make sure that like anything that was shot out of the sky was just gonna instantly die. I think Bird kind of did need the backup and really played well into their hands.
So
I don't know. I think, sorry to cut you off. I think like Blue, they needed to like aggress more together, in my opinion. Because the times when they all held W together into red, it worked out really well. The times where they just like asked their soldiers, "Hey, can you just go and make some magic happen?" That's when red were able to just pick off the straggling soldiers and then aggress like off the back of that player ad.
now one team has readied up. It is all up to the side of Pogjuice to ready up here as we are waiting. It's probably just discussing a little bit what the hell happened in that. You know, this composition is something, you know, you have to play differently to. You cannot play the same style of sixes. You know, of just aggressive bombs, standard bombs, double bombing, that sort of stuff against such classes. You kind of have to play differently. As we will be coming into this golden cap of Pogjuice versus Is Highlander in ozfortress Season 29 Intermediate Week 7, as this is going to mean a lot for Is Highlander. This could be their playoff streams as a very abnormal roster to, you know, enter playoffs. As now, again, Blue taking that early high ground this mid. Andy Rue with his signature high bomb onto Ravu, and he's going to find it straight away. And they're going to have to counter bomb really quickly to find this medic, as Lugnuts is going to deny that first one. As they're all just going to get denied.
Exquisite and like just his whole other team did such a good job of protecting their med. Frido, the last man up with on 11 HP, gonna die to time. But Andy, off the back of that huge bomb, gets the med pick, and then Red just instantly knew we have to right now coalesce around Rocky Road. They did. They killed off all the stragglers, and now we see Rocky Road on an 80% Uber advantage.
Yeah, this is Andy Rue on Spy. I don't know, not sure if he's doing that off Forge or if he's actually coming out as it, but this is a full Uber advantage. He's actually coming out of Spawn on Spy, which is very abnormal. And now they are going to be coming in through door 1 here with this Uber. They are checking traps, nothing there. That soldier is hiding, he's ready for it. But are they actually going to commit through door 1 here? It looks like they are. And Lizard, will he be able to deny this Uber? Well, who knows, as they will come in, and he will force it out. He will be found. That trappers are going to do nothing now for them, as now they are going to walk through. They're not finding any picks here. Andy Rue is going to be found by Cake, but now just a bit of a slowdown on this last, and nothing happening too much here, as Bird and Exquisite Time also finding a frag here. And it looks like they might just be able to play point, as the Uber does come out from Blue.
Oh, but Bird's air blasting everything back! No! Oh! Bird played that so well as Exquisite. Can Exquisite runs out of ammo. He needs ammo if he's gonna do well, and he's actually got his like boxing gloves out on the point. Oh, Red are gonna be like able to cap it out off the back of a heavy that ran out of ammo. Cake instantly leaving. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Bird played that perfectly. Like, even though Blue had Uber, they couldn't do anything against the air blasts of Bird, and Frydog didn't time his stickies correctly. Like, he shot the stickies in sync with Bird's air blast to make it so that Bird's air blast would also reflect the stickies. If they wanted any chance of like holding that off, they needed to have he needed to have timed the stickies so that Bird's air blast weren't matching up with them.
Yeah, and that's maximizing the potential of that class. Just wow, that is a very big win for Is Highlanders. That could actually get their way into playoffs as, you know, this Highlander-esque roster, and that would be quite something, and something I haven't seen in Sixers ever. So we are actually going to get some interviews now. We're trying to get a hold of Exquisite and Lugnut so far as all we have a hold of. We're going to be getting our best to get them in ASAP, see how they are feeling about the game as we actually, just as I say that, Lugnuts has entered the channel, Exquisite also entered the channel. Boys, how are we feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah, definitely feeling really good about that one.
So going to that golden cap, what was the plan there? You know, you guys swung it back a little bit. You were down rounds, I think 2-0 at the start there, if I'm correct. So what was your plan going to golden cap and just to swing the game around your favour, just in general?
So here's the exact plan we had going into that. Just what we were talking about right before was we realized that Andy Roo basically has a 100% chance of picking up their medic every single mid. So we're like, hey, screw it. If Andy Roo's getting their medic every single mid, then our entire game plan comes down to defend our medic on the mid, and we have the heavy, we have the pyro to do it with, so screw it. Let's just roll with that. And it worked out. Great, so there we go.
Joining us now is Bird and TG. TG, gotta ask, what happened on that first map that didn't work on the second map?
Oh, fucking Andy Roo. It's so... I don't... Like, we tried playing passive one mid, we tried playing aggressive, like, nothing was stopping him from killing our mid. I don't know how to play against it.
You need a pyro, man.
No,
Or heavy.
Yeah, heavy.
I refuse.
I think we figured out how to do it, but I don't know, it's a bit too late. I think we realized I think playing passive is the play, but we kind of fucked up.
The only mid you guys when the
They
mid
won a
you
lot of
won
mids.
was when you were aggressive on our side.
Yeah, but we always lost our mid. That was the problem. You guys kind of figured out how to. Like, there were times when we went aggressive, it was kind of you guys made bad mistakes, and we capitalized off that. I think when you guys started doing better later on, and we couldn't really get on you at all. I think we played passive one mid, and it nearly worked, but Revu, I don't know, we kind of messed up the rollout a bit or something, but I think in the future we know you want to be passive for that. It's like, we just don't know what to do against that. That's the problem with you guys. We haven't practiced anything like that before.
You've practiced against us the most out of any
Yeah,
team. So
it's
far this
the,
season.
we just hadn't had played process, so
Yeah.
we knew that Andy Roo was going to do the bomb. It's just, you don't really know how to do anything until you play against it and try things, and we never really got the opportunity.
So I guess a question for Highlander, whoever wants to answer, what was the problem with Reckoner for you guys? Why did it end up in such a convincing, 5-0 for the other team?
Well, I mean, at least something to remember is that this team is, like, Pogjuice knows how we play better than any other team playing this season. So when it comes down to a lot of unless we have something that can really give us that advantage against them, they know so much about what we do. They know how to counter so much of what we do. And they are just a really, really good team. So it becomes really difficult for us to get a lot of stuff working unless we can get our players in and really create a really big impact with that.
Is Andy Roo here?
No.
No.
Oh, good. I never want to see him again.
So how was that for you, Rabu?
I mean, were you watching the game, bro? I was having a lot of fun on mids.
we were just wanting to
Why didn't you just
ask,
surf
like,
out?
what happened, like, with these, like, the times when time just two pipes you, like, we were just like waiting, we were just waiting there for something to happen, and then we looked in the kill feed and we're like, oh.
There were a few moments where time just like, I don't know. I think it was like a reflected roller from your pyro, and that would do like 50 damage, and then time would also shoot a pipe that just hits me, and I just insta die.
It's just like having two demos.
Yeah. And then when I'm not eating like reflected spam, I'm eating flare spam instead. Oh man.
Pyro's meta, I'll keep telling people.
So we also now have Rocky come in joining us as well. I've got to ask for Rocky because this is kind of a bit, different to normal Sixers. How is it as playing as a combo with your Ubers and stuff? How are you working with that with kind of a slow moving combo with the Pyro and the Heavy?
Honestly, it was a huge learning curve for me, and it's completely different meta, as you all know. So I was a bit hesitant in joining the team because of the whole Pyro Heavy and all, because I knew that I was a bit skeptical that it would not work, but hey ho, it is working. Beat Ravu's team.
No, it's only one map. Don't.
Really rubbing
was
the
very, very
wounds there.
close.
Rub the salt in the wound.
Yeah, look, especially at the mids, when we figured out that Ravu was dying every mid, I was just like, hey, let me just start arrowing him as well, join in the fun. I think I got cake accidentally one time when they did the double soldier jump, and then we actually hid in the sewers with Pyro. That was pretty fun.
Oh, actually, I want to explain. I don't know if you guys caught this on cam, but there was a mid where I did surf like Andy Roo's rockets on top of crates, and I think I was trying to arrow someone on our pack, and Bird was like
Got
nearby.
blasted into you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I swear, like Pyro Air Blast broken. Fix that shit.
Yeah, you
What was
Highlander
that?
Soldier, it's not exactly a fun time. Like, the air blast even works if the pyro is not looking at the rocket. Like, yeah, we'll just ask Gabe about that one.
Oh,
But-
you can be standing completely behind someone and reflect the rocket into them. It's very broken.
Yeah, but it was a cool kill. Like when I was in the death cam, I was like, oh man, that one's one for the frag video.
It's a clip for sure. I guess for Exquisite and Bird, this question is for, what sort of shortcomings did you find with your classes compared to, standard sixes, and how do you kind of get around that sort of stuff?
Absolutely none. Heavy is the best class in the game.
I think it's like the speed and mobility kind of thing. It's really hard to deal with scouts as pyro, so you gotta try and play smart. But I don't know.
I was
I'm
thinking,
a pyro
like,
main, so I
if
don't play
the
smart.
if the Natasha was unbanned,
I would be
that'd
using
be
that.
that'd be like so effective. Like, just shuts down bombs, shuts down scouts, anything that moves quickly.
Heavy's annoying enough without that shit, please.
The angriest I've
Heavy
ever
annoying.
been in this game is when someone was running the Natasha against me in a game.
How many mids were you like launched into the air and I just like peppered you down from like choke?
Me?
Yeah, Ravu.
I think it was at least 2 or 3. The only one I remember was when I actually landed with 12 health, and I was all the way in choke, and I self healed up to like 24, and then I just took like 2 heavy shots from across mid and died. That was the most frustrating one out of all of them.
That was
So
fun.
I guess that's a good question. Did you guys end up getting that tilted playing against this sort of stuff, especially on process?
No, we weren't tilted. We didn't ever get tilted by the off-class team. It's just, I think we were more tilted for our play than theirs. Like, they were just doing their thing. We knew what they were going to do. But we just lost a bit of coordination. I think maybe we just got a bit uncoordinated and unfocused after the first map. And we just didn't know how to counter Andy Roo. That was just really the big thing.
Well, we've got a lot of people in here, and I think this would be a good time to go down the list for shoutouts. So, Bird, we'll start off with you.
Oh, shout out to my rascals. Reckless rascals, yeah. That's it.
Exquisite.
Shout out to Fridge Magnet. What am I saying? Fridge Magnet Poetry. We're gonna come second in Highlander this season.
Frydog.
Shout out to Jerry, of course, my boy. He's made some mistakes in the past, but maybe he'll reform. Who knows? Also, shout out to any cute gamer girls out there. If you want to DM me, my Discord DMs are open.
Simp.
Jazz, I don't know if your mic is hot. If you have any shoutouts. Okay, you're muted.
Shoutouts to both to you, Lucky, and Shaky for casting this tonight. I know it's a bit of a weird game, but excuse me. It's just Highlander is always fun, and Pogjuice are a bunch of beasts. Shoutouts to both Is This Highlander and Pogjuice as well. It's always a blast producing these games. Otherwise, shoutouts to my boys in Burnt Toast Gaming, both Sixes and Highlander. Hopefully, we can make playoffs in Highlander this season. And shoutouts to my girlfriend and my dad.
Lugnuts.
Shout out to the intellectual powerhouses lads and the Burnt Toast Gaming peoples. Hopefully some of them are watching this. Shout out to my team for that clutch last round, and Pogjuice for helping us scrim all through the season and providing a really fun game at the end. And shout out to CappingTV for casting us again. Thanks to our Lucky, Shaky, and Jazz. Thanks guys.
I don't know if Mitch is actually here to do any shoutouts.
I'll drop a quick one. I just want to give a personal thank you to Just Jazz. He has been absolutely pulling together this organization over the last 7 weeks, and we couldn't do it without him. So thanks to him, and a big thank you to anyone who works in CappingTV and all our supporters.
One of my favorite parts of the season, sorry to cut off the shoutouts real quick. One of my favorite parts of the season is when Mitch said, because of all the work that you're doing, you get all of the ad revenue that we've generated over the season. And then I said, oh boy, $5. I love it. Fucking let me finish my joke. Nah, I'm just kidding. Thanks, Mitch, and Ravu, you shout out to someone now.
We need Twitch emotes, and then everyone can come and sub for us. Then we can make
Poggers
revenue.
in the chat, thank you.
Yeah, Poggers in the chat, thank you very much.
Yeah, I guess shoutouts to Excited for Christmas. We might have made an oopsie, and I don't know what playoffs are going to look like now, but oops. Shout out to my team. Shout out to guys Carson and Weapon Fire and Ginger.
Rocky.
Sorry. Shout out to my team, of course, and then the casters. Thanks for casting a good game. And shout out to another person who's, again, like last week, shout out up and coming gamer, Rasta Mouse.
Alright, for going down the list, we'll go methodically. I guess I'll go. Shout out to my Valorant squad. Shout out to the Quake boys. Shout out to Solres and Jerry, James RL, and Pass Me the Gravy. Yeah, that's it from me. Also, shout out to Sargon, actually. Shaky, on to you.
Yeah, shout out to you, Lucky and Jazz. Shout out to the 2 teams, and shout out to Batsup Paraphernalia.
TG.
Shout out to my boys, Nick, Yukari, JB. Shout out to my team, putting up with me. Shout out to the casters. I didn't even know this game was being casted. That's probably why I played well. Yeah, that's it. Oh, shout out to the Panda boys as well. KO, Fez, Seraph, all those Project S now.
Well, that just about wraps everything up here for tonight after this very interesting and exciting game. If you want to catch up with everything CappingTV, of course, follow us on Twitch, and of course, follow us on Twitter. You'll hear everything about what's going on. Follow our community Discord as well. It is in the description below. We will have more games casted, and they'll be announced on those platforms. Subscribe to us on YouTube as well, and if you want to support the TF2 community, why not subscribe on Twitch as well, as we were just talking about before. Thank you very much. Thank you for everyone, both teams coming out tonight and playing such a good game, and a very different game of TF2, I must say. It was quite exciting to cast. So, of course, thanks to Shaky and Just Jazz for coming out here and doing the work here for CappingTV. We will be raiding another channel now. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming along. That's it from us. Good night.